Why, hi there. It's Uncle Ron, and I have some thoughts. Well, sometimes I do anyway. Not reading this one from a script. The first two of these we did where I'd sit there and read the screen and read something that I wrote, and while you looked at a picture. But today the subject is the 25th anniversary and the signing of the Americans with Disabilities Act. And you might have guessed from some of these videos, or if you watch some of the baseball videos that I've actually put my face into, that I'm not necessarily, the most beautiful physical specimen, or the handiest, or the most svelte, or any of that. And so I want to touch on something that is very important, I think, for a lot of different people. One out of every 6 Americans has some sort of physical or mental impairment, whether it's obvious like me with basically, let me tell you a little bit about my disability. My disability is called arthrogryposis multiplex congenita, and that's one hell of a words with friends word, isn't it? Basically means that my joints are frozen in multiple areas. In fact, in my situation, it's everything but the jaw, lucky you, and spine, which means I have some range of motion in there and can propel myself, but that it is what it is, and it's just something that you're born with, and it doesn't get any worse. And don't forget people who have hidden disabilities, ones that you don't see, such as fibromyalgia, or heart disease, or high blood pressure, or post-traumatic stress disorder, or in my case, diabetes, because I was once a really big boy. I'm only 5'2", and I weighed well over 200 pounds, 220, 225, something like that. Was almost out of a double X shirt. I mean, I was a fat boy. And now I'm down into a medium mostly and weigh about 135 pounds. But still, I take medication for my blood pressure, my blood sugar twice a day to keep it in check because I don't always eat well, and that's called life and that. So 25 years, I wouldn't call diabetes a disability, but if it left unchecked, I mean, it will kill you. And any heart disease could severely shorten what you're able to do. So, and of course, there's, like we said, the mental disorders that can be crippling and disabling. I know crippling is not the word that people want to hear, such as depression, which is something that I've struggled with over the years, and, to more serious things such as schizophrenia and all that. So, to be recognized formally as a group that is worthy of protection of civil rights is important. And look, I think you get out of life what you put into it. And I'm pretty lucky to be able to do what I do, which is write from home. And I have a wonderful friend that I help do some retail with that gets me out of the house and keeps me somewhat out of trouble. And certainly, it's not a position where I can physically do all the work. You don't want me handling your change, and I don't want to be tasting where your money's been either. But it's sports stuff, and I know a lot about sports, and so as far as telling people where to find stuff and making sure that people are on the up and up is something that I can do. And I think what the Americans with Disabilities Act meant for a lot of people was acceptance. Okay, yes, not only are you valid in that we have to try to accommodate you, but I think it gave the public a look to say, oh yeah, I think you do have something to offer. Now, my life has been blessed. I don't have the six cars and the 6-figure income and the 2.5 kids and the mansion to go along with that, but I, I I've been able to do pretty much what I've wanted to in my life. And because of things such as the Americans with Disabilities Act, it is mandated that bus companies offer accessible forms of transportation. I'm able to go to doctor's appointments to make sure that my sugar stays in check, and then go get my blood drawn when it needs to be, and that I'm aging as well as a middle-aged 43-and-a-half-year-old person with some sugar issues is aging as well as they should. Um, because of also accommodations, it's going to allow me to actually take a real vacation next year and get on a bus and then get on a train to go look at different places to live. That's what that piece of legislation helped deliver. What other things is it? It got me my first paying job at the Vermont Center for Independent Living. I learned about how to work in an office, learned to get skills that will take with me for the rest of my life, organizational skills, and that. And so when I did move on to other things, I knew how to conduct myself and knew what I could and could not ask for. I don't think I've ever asked another employer or freelance writing employer for any accommodations, but it allowed me to try to function in the workplace on a level playing field. And I think that's what anyone, if you ask, that's what anyone wants. It's just a chance to succeed, the chance to be considered an equal, and a chance to perform without anyone really knowing. You can't ask about it in a job interview. And when I told other people that I've worked for, that especially online, I really some physical issues here that you might not be aware of. They hadn't picked up on it from anything that I'd done. So it's nice to have that protection, to know that whatever it is that you choose to do or would like to do, that you have some sort of protection that you'll be able to do it. That if you want to be a telephone operator, then the workplace has a reasonable accommodation to help you do that if you're qualified, and that people are in your corridor, or organizations like vocational rehabilitation that will go to bat for you to help do whatever it is that you want to do, to make sure that you live independently in your community, because that's really what this is all about. Being able to go to wherever it is that you want to go and sit and have a cup of coffee or a donut or a beer or a hamburger or a drink of water, just like anyone else that goes in there. I mean, this is nothing special, nothing magic, and it's always nice to not have people see that disability, because in my case, it's pretty obvious. I sit in a wheelchair. You can't see my hands here, but trust me, they're kind of on a weirdly shaped, strange angle. There's no hiding that I am not blessed with great physicality, but it doesn't stop me. And thanks to Congress, the Congress that was in session between 1989 and 1990, and thanks to George Herbert Walker Bush, who signed the legislation, there just is, I have them. I had that just in case I ever need it. And thankfully for me, I really haven't had to have it. But for a lot of people, that's not the case. And it's nice to have something to go, no, you're supposed to do this for me. So as we celebrate the 25th anniversary of this landmark civil rights achievement that doesn't discriminate against anything else, such as skin color or sexual orientation, just based on disability, I'd like to say to those who helped sponsor and pass this, thank you very much for the chance to show that we are worthy of, that we are equal to fail or to succeed along with everyone else. And so that's that. I'm Uncle Ron, and sometimes I'm wrong, but I don't think I am here. But in any event, thank you very much for watching.